People in the café that morning barely noticed her. She sat in the corner, shoulders shaking, trying to hide her tears behind a cup she wasn't drinking. Customers walked past as if her pain was invisible. But one person noticed. A single dad with tired eyes, a wrinkled work shirt, and a daughter's hair clip still hanging from his sleeve. He hesitated only a moment before walking over, still clutching the lunchbox he couldn't afford to replace, because something inside him whispered that this woman needed someone. He had no idea that his small act of kindness was about to change his life forever. And reveal the woman he comforted wasn't just anyone, she was one of the richest CEOs in the country. Before we jump into this emotional story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps us grow this community of kindness. And if you're new here, welcome to your channel name, where we share powerful stories that inspire the heart. Mark Johnson wasn't having the best morning. His old car had refused to start again, forcing him to walk his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, to school. His shirt was damp from the light drizzle, and his head was pounding with the math of bills he couldn't pay yet. Being a single dad wasn't easy, but he tried to make every day feel a little lighter for Lily. After school drop-off, he ducked into his usual café, a small, warm place that smelled like cinnamon and roasted coffee beans. He needed something cheap and hot to settle his nerves. He ordered the smallest coffee on the menu and stepped aside to wait, rubbing the back of his neck. That's when he noticed her. A woman in her early 40s, dressed in an elegant suit that didn't match the way she was hunched over. Her hands shook as she wiped a tear she clearly didn't want anyone to see. Her phone sat on the table, screen cracked, like it had been thrown or dropped during an argument. People glanced at her, then looked away. No one wanted to get involved. But Mark couldn't shake it. Something about her reminded him of the nights he sat alone in his apartment after his ex-wife left, wondering if anyone noticed how hard he was trying to hold everything together. So he walked over. He didn't plan what to say. He just moved before fear could stop him. "Ma'am," he said gently. I don't mean to intrude. But, are you okay?" The woman looked up with reddened eyes. She seemed startled, almost embarrassed. "I'm sorry," she said quickly. "I'm fine." "Really? Just having a moment." Mark nodded. "We all have those. If you need someone to sit with, I can." He shrugged awkwardly. "I'm not great company, but I listen pretty well." For a moment, she just stared at him, as if no one had ever offered that before. "You'd sit with me," she whispered. "Sure," he replied. Nobody should cry alone. She motioned for him to sit, and he settled into the chair across from her, setting his tiny cup on the table. The woman took a deep breath. "My name is Emily," she said quietly. "Mark," he answered. Emily hesitated, choosing her words carefully. "I just had a very difficult morning. And I didn't expect it to hit me this hard." "You don't have to tell me anything," Mark said. "Just take a breath. I'm not going anywhere." That simple reassurance cracked something in her. She covered her mouth as another sob escaped, and Mark looked away respectfully, giving her space while still being present. After a few minutes, she wiped her face and exhaled shakily. "Thank you. You're the first person today who's asked me if I was okay." He nodded with a sad smile. Sometimes kindness costs nothing but a few minutes. Emily let out a small, humorless laugh. "That's true. I just came from a board meeting. My company, well, I guess it's not mine anymore. My leadership team voted me out. Said I wasn't emotionally stable enough after losing my husband last year. They wanted someone stronger." Mark's heart tightened. "I'm sorry. That's awful." She shook her head. "I built that company from scratch. 12 years. And today they treated me like I was disposable." As she spoke, Mark realized she wasn't just upset, she was devastated. Betrayed. Alone. "I don't know how to start over," Emily whispered. Mark sat in silence for a moment, thinking. Then he leaned forward. "I don't know much about boardrooms or companies," he admitted, "but I know what it feels like to lose everything you thought you'd built. I know what waking up hurts like. But starting over doesn't mean you failed. Sometimes it means you're tougher than they ever believed." Emily stared at him, absorbing every word. And for what it's worth, Mark added, you're stronger than you feel right now. Something softened in her expression. Who are you, Mark? She asked softly. Most people walk past a crying stranger. He shrugged. I'd want someone to stop for me. Before either of them could say more, his phone buzzed. A reminder, pick up Lily early, school half day. He winced. I'm sorry, I have to pick up my daughter. Emily nodded, understanding. Thank you for sitting with me. Mark stood. Anytime. Really? But as he took a few steps toward the exit, she called after him. Wait, can I buy you lunch? You've helped me more than you know. He shook his head. You don't owe me anything. She frowned thoughtfully. Maybe not. But I'd like to repay kindness with kindness. Mark smiled warmly. Maybe another day. He waved and left. Emily watched him go, her mind spinning. He had no idea who she really was, or what he had just offered her in a moment when she felt truly invisible. But she wasn't done with him yet. 3 days later, Mark received an email from the school. A woman named Emily had offered to sponsor a new after-school program for single-parent families. He blinked at the screen. Was it the same Emily? The message ended with, if you're ever free for coffee again, I'd love to continue our conversation. Confused but curious, Mark agreed. They met at the same café. She looked more composed this time, stronger, steadier. I never told you my full name, she said with a gentle smile. Emily Carter. Mark froze. Emily Carter. Billionaire tech founder. Former CEO of one of the fastest-growing companies in the country. He nearly knocked over his coffee. Wait, you're that Emily Carter? She nodded. Yes. But when you saw me crying, I wasn't a CEO. I was just a human being having a really bad day. Mark sat back, stunned. I wanted you to know, she continued softly, that your kindness changed something in me. It reminded me that there are still good people left in the world. People who see others. He didn't know what to say. Then Emily opened her bag and slid a folder across the table. Inside was a job offer. A management position at a new nonprofit she was launching, one focused on supporting single parents in the workplace. I need someone who understands struggle, she said. Someone compassionate. Someone who knows what resilience looks like. And someone who believes people are worth showing up for. Mark swallowed hard. You want me? I want the men who noticed a stranger crying and chose kindness. His eyes stung with emotion. I can't offer much, he whispered, but I can give my best. That's all I need, Emily replied. In the months that followed, Mark's life transformed. He found stability, purpose, and a team that valued his heart just as much as his work. And Emily, she found something too. Not just healing, but hope. The kind of hope born from knowing that even in your worst moment, someone might reach out a hand. All because one man chose to sit with a stranger. Sometimes, kindness doesn't just change someone else's life. Sometimes, it changes your own. So if you take anything from this story, let it be this. Never underestimate the power of noticing someone. Never underestimate the impact of stepping toward kindness when the rest of the world steps away. The smallest act can ripple farther than you'll ever know. And you, yes, you, have that power. Be kind today. It matters more than you think.